Welcome back to Blue Chip Scouting's YouTube channel. I'm Mike Hrynyshyn, offensive line scout for Blue Chip Scouting. I am joined by one of my favorite prospects I've found early on in this process, Matthew Bergeron of Syracuse. My man, how are you today?
Good. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. This is something that I've been excited about. Also, before I get into this, shout out to Nick Price for putting me on to Matthew about 2-3 weeks ago. I literally got a text message from him that said, "This Syracuse kid, watch him. He's good, I promise, and he's Canadian. You'll love him." So, what we're gonna do? I got some questions. We're gonna do some, just some back and forth type of stuff. Because at this point, you are what most would consider a sleeper. There's not a lot of coverage around you. People haven't really gotten to you yet. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
So just to learn a little bit more, about you. So obviously, I mentioned that you're Canadian. I'm from Toronto. You're from just outside of Montreal, right?
Yes, sir. So I
So,
was, I
oh,
was
go ahead.
born. I was born and raised in Montreal for like 12, 13 years, and then we moved like an hour away from Montreal.
So growing up in Quebec, your first language is French, right?
Yeah, yeah. So my first language is French, and I learned English in school.
You know what? I gotta hand it to you guys. Your ability to learn English was way better than my ability to learn French. Uh,
Yeah. Well, I feel like English is a lot easier to learn than French. French is just so complicated, man. Even I'm better at writing in English than I am in French. So like, yeah.
well, not only that, like
hmm
from what I understand, in Quebec, you learn English way earlier than we learn French. We start French in like fourth or fifth grade, maybe even sixth. I can't remember. Whereas you
hmm
guys start early on, so we're already way behind the
Yeah.
eight ball.
Yeah.
um, I remember, and off topic, but I remember in Ontario where I am, we have to do in high school 40 hours of community service. I got like 18 one weekend at an event in
Wow.
Montreal, and they looked
Oh,
at me like I was nuts. They're like, "Why do you have to do community service? Did you do something like? Did you break the
yeah.
law at some point?" Like, no, this is just to graduate. So
That's
yeah,
crazy.
there's
I didn't know.
definitely a disconnect at times between really Quebec and the rest of Canada, but
Nah, nah.
especially Toronto.
It's crazy because when you think about like even the school system, like just
Hmm.
how the way things are set up, grades, we got this thing called CJET that you got to do before going to college. So
Hmm.
Quebec is just different from the rest of Canada, like in every aspect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Quebec is definitely built different, and,
hmm
and you're a little too young for this, but there are going to be some people that remember the Quebec separatist movement in the 90s.
Yeah, yeah. So my mom went through it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh, but a little bit more about you. So when
Mhm.
you're not at practice, I know right now you're helping a lot with recruiting for Syracuse, but when you're not around the team, practicing, lifting, what are some of your other favorite things to do?
So right now, this summer, I started an internship at the Huntington Family Center. So I'm a social work major,
Oh,
and
nice.
so after practice, right now it's 11:30. So by 2, I'm gonna head over there. So I help with the after school program Monday through Friday. I just help the kids in need. Just trying to take their minds off what they got to go through every day, and just spending time with them. And I really enjoy doing it. So yeah.
Oh, that's great to hear, man.
hmm
Outside of things like that, do you like, are you one of those guys that's like a music guy, video games,
I'm
cooking?
I'm I'm more of a movie person.
Ah,
Like
okay.
if I could, I'll go to the movie every day. Like for real, I'm just I watch maybe a movie a day. I'm a movie guy. Then I go second. I'm a video game type of dude. I was a lot when I was younger, but I kind of slowed down right now. But yeah, I say
so,
movie and video games. Yeah, for sure.
so if you're a movie guy, I gotta ask because it's topical. Have you seen Top Gun Maverick?
I seen it, and you know what? Going into it, I had kind of low low expectations of it.
Same.
Because usually remakes or like sequels, like after a long time, they not as good,
Hmm.
but they definitely did a great job with this one. So yeah, I was
Yeah.
pretty excited because I love Top Gun, the original one.
Oh,
I,
dude.
I love it. That's why I was like, man, I hope they don't mess it up, and they lived up to the expectations. So yeah.
It was funny. I reached out to you about doing this right as I was heading into a work event where we went out and watched Top Gun. So I'm like, all right. So it's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
I had to, for multiple reasons, ask you that one.
Hmm.
Now I see a Jackie Robinson jersey in your on your backdrop, which leads me to my next question. So, obviously Canada, Quebec. Did you play any sports? Were you a hockey guy growing up?
So I played hockey growing up, and then hockey is expensive.
It's
It's an
so
expensive
expensive.
sport, and like I was growing up fast. I just got big. Like we had to change my skates, my sticks, like everything. And it was just getting overwhelming. So we stopped. I stopped playing hockey. Then my mom put me into basketball, like really young. And then when I got to high school, I started playing football, and I never stopped since. So yeah.
Yeah, for those that maybe don't understand just how crazy Canadians are when it comes to hockey, like in terms of price, like youth hockey is insanely expensive in Canada to sign up
Yeah.
for, and it
Yeah.
is such a commitment. So when
Mhm.
you're going, I mean, I went through a very similar growth spurt to what you're describing. I grew
Mhm.
8 inches in 1 year, and
Mhm.
so it's like that's a lot to take care of when you're having to replace all that hockey gear. I had to do that
Yeah.
with football gear, but I can't imagine with
Mhm.
hockey equipment, man.
Like, you gotta travel everywhere.
Oh.
It's just too expensive.
It's brutal. It's
Mhm.
brutal. It is a
Mhm.
year-round commitment.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Sure.
Now you mentioned CJEP, and I know what that is. I know some of our viewers might not.
Mhm.
And the best way I can describe it would be like the Canadian equivalent of like a prep school system. And CJEP football is huge compared to
Yeah.
Canadian high school,
Yeah.
where my team had 18 players grades 9 through
Mhm.
12. So what's the CJEP football scene like there in Quebec?
It's huge. You get recruited out of high school. You got to pick. You got to go and visit. It's a little bit like college. Like you got to go over there and visit. Make a choice. I went to CJ in Tetford Mines, a small town. I'll say about maybe an hour from Quebec City. And yeah, I mean it's a great league. The age range is 18 to like 21, 20. So it's a good quality football. And yeah.
Yeah, like Canada is very segmented. If you're out on the West Coast, it's kind of dead. If you're
Hmm.
in like Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba,
Yeah.
it's a very vibrant,
Yeah.
high school football scene.
Hmm.
Same with college. And then
Hmm.
when you're in Ontario, like Toronto, where I am, it's completely dead. And then it picks back up in Montreal again.
Exactly. Yeah. The football scene in Quebec it's been growing for like the past years. I see it right now. I see kids come down to camp trying to get in the U.S. Like I see a lot of good thing happening in Quebec. The Washington football corner, Benjamin St. Juste.
Mhm.
He's having a camp in Montreal with a lot of NFL guys. So I think it's just growing. I love to see it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And hopefully I'm gonna be a part of it soon. So
Fingers crossed,
Mhm.
man. Now, I've
Yeah.
been told that you have a rather fascinating recruiting story and a story
Hmm.
surrounding your recruitment. So
Hmm.
I haven't been told any of the actual details. So I'm going to let
Okay.
you explain that.
Got you. So like we said earlier, like we explained CJEP. I was in CJEP. I played my first season in CJEP. I was doing good. And then in the summer, my CJEP came down in a bus. They wanted us to experience the American football, get coached by like college coaches and all that. And I wasn't being recruited by any, colleges, any type of D1 school at all. So we came down for the camp. I saw it at first as an experience. So I'm gonna just learn from these coaches. I'm gonna
Mhm.
just, go in, have fun. It's a trip with the guys too. Like it was with 12 of us, had a good time, slept at the hotel. A good little road trip. Then when I came down, when the practice started, I was just dominating. Dominating guys. I had a good there was this agility circuit. I was doing good, and then coaches started coming up to me like, "Who are you? Like, where are you from?" Like, and mind you, back then my English wasn't as good as it is right now. So trying to explain them that I'm from Quebec and I'm in CJEP, which is not like the rest of Canada. I'm not like it was just crazy. And then co Coach Kavanaugh right now he's with Arizona State, but he used to be at Syracuse. Gave me his number. They looked at my tape and stuff. Then a week later, I got a call saying, yeah, hey, Matthew, it was Coach Mike Lynch called me like, hey, you know, we love what you did at camp. We love your tape. You seem like a good person. You know, we're offering you. And I didn't know what it meant at the time. I didn't know what an offer meant, you know. And I was just excited, you know. I said thank you, Coach. Then maybe like 40 hours after, I was like, Coach, I want to go to Syracuse. Like, you know, Syracuse is right next to home. Good, you know, ACC ball. It was just a perfect fit. You know, the coaches, you know, Coach Babers, Coach Kavanaugh, and Coach Lynch. I just grew a great relationship with them, so it was the perfect fit, and I committed then.
Yeah, no, I knew that there had to be some story. Like I said, I got to ask him about his recruiting. So I'm like, all right, cool. Looked up your recruiter. I'm like, only offer, only visit anything with Syracuse. I'm like, there's got to be a story. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Now, when you got to Syracuse, I mean, obviously they had that one good year a couple years ago.
Yeah,
kind of regressed a little bit since when you know won one game during the pandemic shortened season. Won 5 games this past year, largely because of players like you taking a big step forward in in your performance. Sean Tucker, your guys' running back, is absolutely a draft Twitter favorite. Everybody loves Sean Tucker.
Yeah.
Also, great Twitter follower too.
Yeah.
Great Twitter follow. Love Sean Tucker on Twitter. So, two-part question: what do you think was the main catalyst for that big step forward? And then what's the next step for Syracuse in the 2022 season for you guys?
Well, I think we took a hit at that pandemic season, you know, with guys opting out and not having the spring ball and having a limited amount of practices in fall camp. I think that really took a hit on us. And then we experienced it in that 2020. I mean, it was awful. And then we just regrouped as a team, you know, we named some different leaders. You know, we made some changes, and then we you know you saw the difference this year. And what was special about this year was that like our record says 5-7, but we could have easily been 8-5. Like you saw those 3 games. You know, what I'm saying Florida State last drive, Wake Forest lost overtime, Clemson we missed the tying field goal. So these games could have easily went our way. So that's why right now we're just so close of being the team we want to be. So we just gotta take that next step, you know. And I feel like talent like Garrett Williams, like Michael Jones, Garrett Schrader, Sean Tucker coming back, and Courtney Jackson stepping up, and Damian Alford with a lot of, you know, with more experience, Deuce with a year under his belt. Like these guys gonna make a difference down the stretch. Next year, and I think that's where we're gonna see the difference between 5-7 and 8-5. You know.
Yeah, you guys were really in a lot of close games, and like you said, like one-score games, it's a toss-up, and Syracuse just came up with that little bit short, but that extra bit of experience going into this year is going to make a huge difference.
I'm grateful we had to go through it last year, because right now I feel like next year guys will play with a chip on the shoulder. Like we don't want to go through this again, and we didn't want a bowl game. So yeah.
Now, I mean, I got to watch probably 4 or 5 of your games, so I have a pretty good knowledge of like what your play style is. But for someone that maybe hasn't seen you play, now I want to put this in perspective. Syracuse has you listed at 6'5" and 330. So if you had to explain your play style to someone who's never seen you play, how would you do so? Like, is there anyone you model your game after?
So when I got to Syracuse, when I was watching film, I watched a lot of Christian Darrisaw, and then when he left,
that's music to my ears, man. That's my guy. Christian is my guy.
And then because in Canada the game in general was different, so I had to kind of watch a lot of film just to get used to it, because there's a lot of differences for people that might not know. And so I watched a lot of Christian Darrisaw. My coach told me, like, watch this guy. You know, he's one of the best in ACC. Just watch him. So I started watching him. You know, and then when he left, I watched a lot of Iki. I don't want to mess up his last name. Okwanu. Yeah. So this year, this 2021 season, I watched a lot of him. You know, just great athlete, can move well around. You know, screens, all that. He just can move to the second level and just destroying guys at second level, and that's what I was trying to do. And you know, this year I'm watching more of the league stuff. Trent Williams, you know, Garrett Bowles from the Denver Broncos, just trying to be better. Yeah.
Yeah, they're really we compare a lot to Canada, but
Mm-hmm.
when you get to the NCAA and everything's a spread offense, up here in
Yeah.
Canada, those don't exist. It's
No, they
power
don't.
run
They
game.
don't. Yeah, and then the game, you know, the game is just different in general, and like the type of athlete you go against. Like you're not there's no Miles Murphy in Canada. Like there's no, you know, there's no Xavier Thomas. Like there's no. You just gotta get used to the speed of the game. You know.
Now, piggybacking off of that, what would you say was your best game in 2021? Like your personal best performance?
I say I think one of my best performances was our first game at Ohio, but against some good competition. I'd say my best performance was against Clemson. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the game where Nick Price at Blue Chip was like, "Yeah, watch him," because because you went up against potential first round player Miles Murphy, and you held him in check most of the game, pretty much all game. What went into that performance? Was there extra motivation because it's Clemson, because you're going up against 5-star guys, or was this just, hey, they're in front of us, they're our opponent this week, they get these hands?
I think it was definitely like, you know, I approach no matter who we playing, I just approach it the same way. And like, you know, these guys, they you know, the Clemson D-line, they really talented, but I go in the mindset like I can ball with these guys. I feel like I can ball with anybody out there, and I just got to keep that mentality so I'm not losing the mental aspect of the game, you know. So I just got to go in confident, and I feel that's when I'm playing better, you know, when I'm confident and when I'm in my zone. And that's
Perfect, man. Now, I got two more questions for you. So the next one is, when you look at Syracuse's schedule for this upcoming year, is there a certain game you've got circled, a matchup you're looking forward to, a team you can't wait to face, stadium you want to go to, whatever?
Yeah.
Is there an instance of that this year?
So I'll try and answer the game that this circle is Louisville.
Okay.
We got, since I've been here, they've blown us out for the past 2 years, and they talk a lot of smack, and that's for a lot of guys on the team, for a lot of leaders on the team. That game is circled. The first game of the year is circled, and we doing extra reps. You know, we're taking those extra steps. You know, just to get to that game, and I feel like this year we'll come in different against them. And one of the stadium I want to be in next year is definitely Clemson. I think we experienced it in 2020, but it was like half capacity for the COVID rules. But I want to experience it the full capacity with you know, just having the stadium rocking and stuff. So I'm pretty excited about that.
And then last question before I let you go: what are some of your personal goals for this upcoming season?
I mentioned it earlier. Definitely a bowl game. That's my goal. You know, I've been here 3 years, haven't had a chance to be in one, and I'm just itching to be in one. You know, just having that experience with the guys and just finish it off, you know, on a good note. You know, so yeah.
Absolutely, man. All right. Well, Matthew Bergeron of Syracuse, where can the great people that watch this video find you on your social media? I'm gonna let you plug whatever you want to plug.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram. My Instagram is matthewk.kunta, Kunta, and my Twitter is just Matthew K. Bergeron. So you guys can find me there and follow me.
All right. Well, that's again Mike Hrynyshyn from Blue Chip Scouting, Matthew Bergeron from Syracuse. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys next time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.